You okay? Sorry, stay down there.
Weird damn thing.
We're still not there yet, so I get it.
Ira?
Yeah?
Good, man.
You've been summoned. It's your turn.
Good spot.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai! Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai! Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai!
Not like this.
The whole story?
Not to sing.
In 1990, I'd rather not.
He's from the boroughs.
Wow, this is a big crowd. Listen, before you go, knock out that wall.
Yeah.
In 1990, it was my first time in India, and I wasn't a Baba lover yet at the time. But when I came to India, I got zapped out of my mind. That's a story in itself. But during on the TV, I was a messenger. And I rented a bicycle at, it was an ungodly price of something like 50 cents a day. And Bhavati was like downtown, or Lower Mehabad. Jao was uptown, Upper Mehabad, and it was sent back and forth. And 2 buses from Hyderabad just came, you know, go this way and go this way. Anyway, so I'm relaying those messages. Well, one time, in the middle of the night, I'm riding my bicycle, singing, Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. And if you know that little guy who's always at the 2, he's like my idol. He's like, there he is. So I'm riding my bicycle. I'm singing Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Then all of a sudden, Avatar Meher, bam! I hit a rock. There was white stones that you see all over the place, but for some reason I didn't see, or because of my bliss. And I fell. I looked around, nobody's around. So I get on the bike, continue going, Ki Jai, and I'm cruising in the distance. Well, the next day, lo and behold, this gentleman comes up to me and says, Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. The only witness. And that's why we're all here right now in this room. Thank you.
Hey, Mama!
Phil is just coming back. I want to thank you all for coming, particularly because this is the last meeting we're going to have in this house. Yes. At the end of this month, we'll be out of it. So this is a real honor and a pleasure to have Bhau here. It's kind of a going away gift from Baba. I think Nash has something to say. And then I think Bhau is going to be taking questions, correct, Bhau? So anyone who wants to ask any questions, feel free. Nash?
Yeah, just a couple of housekeeping notes. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, all of you are invited for a live taping of question and answer taped interview with Bhau Kalchuri. The first segment is designed for ethnic network television. We try to pitch messages of Meher Baba on the ethnic television network, and we've partially succeeded. And the first part will be, and the second half of the Q&A will deal with questions that have sent in by people from all over the world for Bhau, and we'll be asking that. And that's from 9:30 till about 11:15. And we've recently released a new album called Beloved Sings of Love, which is available for $14.95. If those who wish to get a copy, please let me know. Thank you.
Are you ready for questions?
I'm ready.
Okay. Anyone have a question?
Why is it so hot in this room? Thank you. There's 60 people.
It's a function of how many bodies are in here.
With the lights going? Who wants to go second?
Tell us about the magic of Mayor Baba. Tell us about the magic of his love. Was it his love that was magic, or was the love of his followers that was magic?
This word magic, it is quite a different word.
Freeman.
It's not working, Freeman.
Freeman.
Not working.
They're working on it.
Need some magic.
Yes, it is. What happened?
Anything? No, nothing yet.
The speakers are on, it's just the connection, it sounds like.
Okay.
I did not.
There's a buzz.
Yeah, the speakers are on.
That's the energy.
That's the magic.
No, it is not.
Maybe that's just the cord.
Maybe it's the one. Jonah knows.
That broke your toe? That broke your toe.
We go to auctions and there's always a problem.
You guys are the best.
Only one who doesn't have it is God.
He's got a good seat up there, though. He's got a throne.
Yes,
There we go.
And then after I got back on my bicycle,
It is still not working.
Is it working?
No. Now it is. Now it is.
It's working?
Now it is.
I think it's the phantom power button.
praise Baba.
This magic of freedom.
Magic of his love.
Yeah. Okay. You wanna? I'll pop it
I'm waiting
down.
for a Baba rock concert. Baba, say Baba. You do?
Okay.
Working?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes?
Yeah. It's the phantom power.
You all agree? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
Sit back and hum.
Can't wait. Tough crowd.
You hear that?
Yeah, he got it. What happened?
Okay.
This year, I was not to
I'm
come,
the one that was scaring you.
and nobody expected that I would go. And all of a sudden, I felt that I must make a visit. And I came. It is, I don't know, so many months I was lying on the chair, business class, in the office. and I would dictate, I would attend all the work, but while lying down. And it is Baba who made me to come here. To come here means just to visit different centers. And I just feel that he has released his wave of love. Everywhere I went to Myrtle Beach. This time Myrtle Beach was quite different. Quite different. The last day when I was coming here, coming to Boston, I embraced each one. I was embracing, and they were singing Satchidanand Paramanand Meher Baba Vidyanand. And when they were singing and I was embracing, it was so touching. Baba's presence felt by everyone there. It so happened that this couplet, Satchidanand Paramanand Meher Baba Vidyanand, Baba gave me in the year 1955. He asked me to go to Hamirpur district, just to tour the whole district. And at that time, there was sensation all over the world. Not all over the world, but all over India. What happened? That there was the meeting of declaration, and during that meeting on 30th September 1954, Baba declared that three-quarters of the world is going to be wiped out. Now when after this declaration, Baba also said that I would be going into seclusion and nobody should write to me and nobody should come to see me. And it was very serious atmosphere. And then, of course, while leaving Mehrabad, people were just weeping and weeping that when we will be able to see Meher Baba. So, and then Baba had already declared that he was to leave his alphabet board on 7th of October. So people, of course, they thought still 6 days are there. Why not to write to Baba that when he would be in seclusion and then nobody could see him and nobody could write to him. So then afterwards he also said that he would also drop his body. It was a very big blow. So they wrote so many letters so that Baba may receive those letters before the 7th October. And the last day, all the letters were read out to Baba. Everyone had written that what do you do now? You have stopped seeing us. You have stopped writing. What should we do? And Baba gave one answer for everyone, that don't think that I am going away from you. I am just disconnecting my outer connection. In order to come closer to you, I will come closer to you, so don't think that I will just forget you or leave you. Even if I try, I cannot leave anyone. And now, whatever Baba had said at that time, how true it is now. He is not in physical form, but no one knows how actively he is working, how you have come in his contact. He is not physically present, but how you have come, you will say that you read his message, don't worry, be happy. And that message, of course, touched my heart. And that's why I came to Baba. Somebody would say that I saw Baba in my dream and I felt that I must follow him. There are different persons, different experiences, but this is just outer thing, how you have come to him and how you are following him. Nobody knows. He has dropped his body, but he is infinitely active. What is his work? He has dropped his body. If work is not there, how you have come? How? His work, he is very infinitely active, he is doing that. When he was physically present, he was suffering physically, mentally, and spiritually for the whole universe. Now, because his physical body is not there, so he is suffering mentally and spiritually. His suffering continues. He is always there. You go to the church and pray to Holy Spirit. Who is that Holy Spirit? Ask the priest, who is the Holy Spirit? Of course, you ask us to pray, but who is that? What will be his reply? Keep quiet. This is the secret. You will not come to know. Just pray. Because he himself does not know. Nobody knows. He remains in the form of Holy Spirit eternally. Eternally. And of course, he is the responsible for the whole creation. How can he forget anyone? If suppose Tony gets godization, his goal is achieved, he will forget. Forget the world, nothing to do with the world. Because the goal is achieved, I am the only one who exists. This knowledge he will have. But he is the one. He is responsible for the whole creation. So he cannot just leave that connection. Because he is responsible, he has to do that. You must have read the story about the mischievous chicken. Did you read?
No.
No?
Yes.
Yes.
Who did?
Some good, some good.
She read, yes. Only one.
You told me this story.
I told you. And Tony?
Yes. Tell what he can, pal.
All right. I did. It was in the year 1967. Baba entered into seclusion, and that was the last phase of his seclusion. So he would come to Mandi Hall in the morning, and he would work for 3 hours. But as soon as he would come, all the Mandi members should be present there. He would see the face of everyone, and then he would say that now you go out and close everything. So all the windows and doors and ventilators, everything would be closed, and Baba would be all alone in the Mandi Hall. Then what happened, that we had no difficulty. I would keep night watch, so there was no difficulty, I would be ready. And every month, all the Mandi members would be ready there. There was one person, Francis Berazul, the poet and the writer. He would write late, and he would go to bed very late. So it was a big problem for him to get up early in the morning. And Baba would come at 6 o'clock. And when he would not be there, Baba would say, call Francis. So I would call him. Now Baba continued his work, went to Pune for 3 months in summer. And one day, Francis says to, Baba says to Francis, Francis, when I go to Merazad, my health will be very bad. So you don't worry. I will come very late. I will not come at all. So you sleep. Don't worry. And he was very, very happy. Now what happens, we go to Merazad. And then Francis, the first day, Baba first day, he came at 6 o'clock. Everyone was present except Francis. Baba said, call him. So I went to call him. So he comes with great difficulty. First, Francis, Baba has come. Great, very difficult for him. He came like this. Baba looked at him, and Baba says, go and have tea, wash. And then Baba started his work. Then afterwards, the second day, when Baba came at 5:30. And everyone was present, but Francis was not there. So Baba asked me, just call him. I went. Anyway, he came. Third day, Baba came at 5 o'clock. And asked me to call Francis. This time, Francis, it was very difficult to get up. He says, this bloody avatar. He said that he would come very late, and he comes as early as 5 o'clock. But he came. And Baba looked at him. He also smiled. He said, go and have tea, wash your face. So why he would call every Mandi member, why he would see everyone's face, what was there? It appears as if some rituals are this, something like this. He would see the face of everyone, but it has the deep meaning. Why he would want to see? He was working for the whole universe. whole universe, God has different attributes. Infinite light, infinite knowledge. All many attributes God has. Each one would represent opposite of every attribute. God is infinite light. Someone should be there who should represent infinite darkness. Because he would work in the domain of illusion. The truth, the reality was working in the domain of illusion. So there should be representation. So all these persons, they were representing the opposite of God's infinite attribute. Mera was the one who was representing all the attributes, opposite of all the attributes. And that's why Mehra, always Baba would say Mehra. His love for her because she was representing all the attributes of God, opposite attributes of God. So her work was, her role was really very, very important. So then Baba, of course, he would come and he would work. Then 3 hours we would be just keeping watch. We would not allow even one bird to come because no noise should be there. So Baba, of course, he would be all alone. After 3 hours, he would clap. And then we would all go inside. There would be 3 prayers. Master's prayer, then repentance prayer, and afterwards Baba gave 3rd prayer, beloved God. So 3 prayers, after 3 prayers, Baba would bow down to each one of the mandali. He was bowing down to you all. Bowing down to you all. What work he was doing, he was working for the whole universe. They were representing every opposite of every attribute of God. So when he would bow down to everyone. That's why you are here. The whole world will come to him. This time the whole world has to come because he has worked. As Zoroaster, his work was in Iran. So only people of Iran, they knew him. And after that, as Ram, India and Sri Lanka, because Ravan was there. He killed Ravan. So people of India and Sri Lanka, means every time when he comes, the work goes on increasing. And that's why in every cycle, more and more people come to know about him. Then as Krishna, Dwarka and India. Then he comes as Buddha. What do we find? Buddha, India, Burma, China, Japan. That area, greater area. Then comes Jesus. All the Western countries, and some here and some there. Other in Eastern countries too. Then he comes as Muhammad. When Muhammad, all Arabian countries and some here in the Western countries, some there, that means more greater area. This time he has come as Meher Baba for the whole world, because this is the end of cycle of cycles. New cycle will begin. So whole world will recognize him, and that's why you see that Baba, of course, made many visits to Western countries. Not only he made so many visits here, but also met with an accident here in Oklahoma. He had declared long ago that America needs my blood and I have to shed. And he did it in 1952 when he had come. Now you will see that when the same one comes, age after age, why his face is different? Why not the same face when the same one comes? Why not the same face? Why his face as Jesus is different, Muhammad is different? Why not the same face? And Nasser one will give the reply. No?
There's only one Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness is one.
Yes, that's why one should be there, his face should be just the same. Christ consciousness. So Christ consciousness, every time Christ consciousness comes, so same face should be there. Why? Your face, his face, Art, Tony, why different face? Everyone has different face. What is the reason? The reason is that when we come, this body we have taken, this body is nothing but the mold of past impressions. And it shows that past impression, everyone has different past impressions. And this is the mold. So body must differ from person to person according to the impressions. Same thing. When he comes, we have got binding impressions. He comes down on earth to make us free from the binding impressions. But his area of work differs. I told you that when he came as Zoroaster, only Iran. So area of work, and according to that, he brings impression, and those impressions they are called divine three impressions or yoga impressions. So according to that, according to his work, he brings the impressions to make you just to distribute, so that we may be free from the binding impressions. We must get the way towards the truth. And that's why the number of impressions which he brings for his work, and that's why he has different face each time. Not the same face. Did you follow, Tony?
More or less.
Or did you not follow?
He said more or less. More or less, he didn't follow.
Now it is very clear that now our mold, our body is according to the impressions, but each one has different body, different face, not the same face. That means each one has different impressions, not the same. So also when he comes, according to his work, he brings those impressions which can release our binding impressions. And that's why the impressions which he brings every time according to the work. And I told you, first he came as Zoroaster in the known history, Of course, how many times he must have come, nobody knows. So, Zoroaster, his work at that time in Iran. So, whatever divine free impressions are required at that time, he brought. So, the mold was like that. Then, of course, at the time of Jesus, more work. So, more impressions according to that. And this body is the mold. And that's why his face every time changes. Every time the face changes. So now I come to the point that Baba just, when he made this declaration that he would not see anyone, and letters came and Baba dictated the reply. And then afterwards, what happened? Baba had given, on 7th October 1954, Baba came in the morning and he dictated one prayer. And what was the prayer? O Sai Baba, O Upasni Maharaj, O Baba Jan, O Tajuddin Baba, O Narayan Maharaj, the 5 perfect masters, you are the witnesses. And today I discard my board before you, and I would not use it again. So this prayer, of course, he gave that day. And in the evening, he came. He came and we were all standing, Baba was standing, 5 perfect masters, of course, pictures were there. And prayer was performed. And then he was rolling his alphabet board. Rolling and rolling and rolling, and he threw. When he threw, what happened? The zero of the board, 3/4 of the board, the zero, it is just wiped out. 1/4 left in the board. And then, of course, world is zero. He has said 3/4. 3/4 of the world will be wiped out. Yes. Then you feel, oh, 3/4 will be just finished. 3/4 zero. And then, of course, he sent me to Hamirpur. He had declared 3/4 of the world will be wiped out. Sensation here and there. So when I was going, he told me to go there. And I was thinking, what should I say now? People will definitely ask me about the 3/4. And what reply should I give? So when Baba asked me to go, at that time he left the board and Baba would come to the Mandi hall, he would look at us and we would look at him. No communication. And it was, we would feel bored that how to communicate anything to him. He's not communicating, he's not asking. He would just come and sit there. So some days passed away. And one day, when he came there, and he was just looking at us, and we felt that Baba is asking something, but we could not follow. And Erach, all of a sudden, he said, do you want this? And there was Ramju. Ramju says, how did you come to know that Baba wanted that? Erach could not say anything, but of course he could follow. And then it was so difficult for us to communicate. And at that time, because he had already given promise who those people, they wanted to construct Meher abode in one of the places called Noranga. So then I was just hesitating. They would ask me and what I would say. And Baba, of course, he said to me, he gave me this Sachidanand Paramanand, Meher Baba Vidyanand, and he said, I will come with you. But I did not follow. I was just thinking that this time it will be a very difficult thing to face the people. I was feeling scared. Now I had to tour whole district. In one place I went, there were about 8,000 people. And I gave that line to the group head, if someone would sing this. And he said, yes, I arrange. And he arranged. And he started singing. The whole atmosphere surcharged with love. It appeared as if the waves were very, very active in the ocean. And I felt, now nobody would ask me about this 3/4. This line is very, very powerful. Good that Baba gave me, I could not understand at that time. But now I know that that nobody would ask anyone anything about 3/4. But then the group head stood up. He introduced me to the people and he said, Baba has said that 3/4 of the world is going to be wiped out. So if you want to remain in 1/4, follow Meher Baba. If Meher Baba is Meher Baba, and because people follow him because of fear, that is not following. We don't follow. That fear makes us to do that. In love there is no fear. Love is such a strong thing that when it happens, then of course no one, you just see the God intoxicated persons, they remain on the street here, there, dirty, no care for anything, no care. They remain absorbed in love for God and nothing else. They don't think about any other thing but just God. So then of course I said, Baba, please help me, what reply should I give? And then I remembered one story. Of course this story was also told by Baba. So Baba said there was a perfect master. And that perfect master had a few disciples. And they would live in a forest. And the master would not see anyone. If anyone would come to see the master, he would not see. So then years passed by, but he did not see anyone. And one day, the disciples came together and they said that there are so many so-called masters and saints, and thousands of people follow them. But here our master, he does not see anyone, and when people come, so he says, no, I don't want to see. Why not we should request him that he should, at least those who come, he must see them. So they approached the master. And the master, of course, he said that the time will be coming when I will see everyone. Just wait. And they waited for 5 years. But the time did not come. So again they approached the master. And they said, Master, you said that time will be coming, but when? 5 years passed by and nothing happened. He said, the time is coming. First he says, the time will be coming. The time is coming. Just wait. They waited for 2 years. And nothing happened. So again they approached. Master, when the time will come? You said the time is coming, still it has not come. The master says the time has come. Now you go and tell the people that from this date to that date, 1 week, I will see them. If they want to see me, I am available. But on the 7th day, I will drop my body. As soon as they heard, no master, we don't want that anyone should come to you, but you should not die. The master says, now the time has come. You must go. This is my order. So with heavy heart, they went and they told the people that our master is the real one and he will be available from this date to that date for 7 days. And if you want to see him, of course you can see. But on 7th day, he will drop his body. Now people were thinking, when they heard this, 7 days? Why not 7 days we should devote with him? We will get more benefit. So thousands and thousands of people came and they started dancing and singing. And master was sitting on the stage and he was encouraging us, sing, dance. The first day passed away very peacefully with all charm. Second day, when they gathered together and the master came, master was shining. A thought came in their mind. Today he looks more healthy. Whether he will die, he will die because he looks more healthy, he's shining. The doubt started. But then still they were singing, but the charm was not there. Charm was not there, they were just looking at him, whether something happens, nothing happened. Third day, no charm, nothing. In this way, 6 days passed away, then they would just sing, they would dance, but they were looking at him that there is no sign of any disease. Nothing has happened to him. And they became very, very restless. They said, this man, of course, deceived us. He is not going to die. He wanted more followers, and that's why he spread this rumor. But there were others, old persons. He said, now it is a question of 1 day. So why we have waited for 6 days, why not 1 day more? And if he does not die tomorrow, then we will see. So they kept quiet. They were dancing, singing, no charm, nothing. But before the sunset, they became so restless and they could not control themselves. So they started throwing stones at him and they killed him. And as soon as he was killed, there was sunset, 7th day. Whatever the master had said, yes, it was true. Then they realized that yes, the master dropped his body on the 7th day, but how? We killed him. We killed him, so there was repentance. They had come for the material benefit, that we would derive more material benefit if we would be there for 7 days. And what the master gave them? True love. True love. So I said to them that it is Baba's work. Baba said 3/4 of world is going to be wiped out. So it is his work. What we have to do with that? We should just love him, follow him. Whatever he says, of course, we must do it. So the whole atmosphere was remained calm and quiet, and everyone accepted this. Now what happens? I went to that place at the end. This Satchidanand Paramanand. So when I would go from one place to another, so big procession would come and singing Satchidanand Paramanand, and the whole district there was wave of love. This time after years, I experienced the same wave in Myrtle Beach. In Myrtle Beach, when they were singing and just shedding tears, I felt that place of course came before my eyes. So his work, it is quite different. No one can understand it. When he is beyond understanding, how we can understand him through our limited mind? It is not possible. So now I come to that whatever he has said, 3/4, then afterwards he asked me to write his biography. He would also give me points for the nothing and the everything during his seclusion. So after this seclusion work, 3 hours, he would bow down to each one, and then he would ask the Mandi to disperse. And he would keep me there, and he would give me points. At that time, of course, I could not understand anything. And he said, don't ask me anything, everything will be crystal clear to you. He also, on 24th January 1969, he asked me to write his biography. At that time, he was getting spasm after spasm, little movement of the fingers, of course, would give him a spasm. Half an hour he took to give instructions, and I thought that I must not ask anything because Baba is getting this spasm. It will be more trouble to him, so I kept quiet and did not ask. I thought that when Baba would be all right, then I would ask. Now he said that I would tell you about my manifestation. And of course, after a week, he dropped the body. And I just thought that Baba said that he would tell me about it. And of course, he has dropped the body. What should I write? So one day I asked Francis. Francis says he has said that he would explain. And he did not explain. So now you are free, don't write. I said he was suffering so much and still he gave me instruction. So it is not just in vain. I must try. When I started writing, and I wrote whatever it came, and of course I wrote, and so many notebooks, heaps were there. Not only Baba's biography, not only the nothing and the everything, he had also asked me to write other books. I wrote. And then ultimately, of course, I offered at the seat of Baba in the Mandi hall. So main Mandi came to see. Actually, Eraj had tears in his eyes because nobody knew that I was working so many hours in my room. Always the door I would keep closed, and of course no one knew, and hips. Then women Mandi came, and they saw they were also wonderstruck. And Mani says to me, it was Kaka's slap, hard slap to you, which made everything clear to you, and you have written all this. And what was Kaka's slap? Kaka, of course, he was the one, very old Mandi and manager of Merazad. So his work, of course, he would look after Merazad, and when we would go to Pune, Kaka would be there at Merazad. Once, of course, when we went to Pune, so Kaka got urea, and Adi Kirani Baba's secretary informed Baba. So Baba sent instruction to take him to hospital and arrange best of the treatment. So Adi did it. And because of urea, his speech was affected. Now Baba was to come to Merazad. And Baba said, when I would go to Merazad and Kaka would not be there, he would feel very bad. So he sent instruction to Adi Kirani saying that when I go to Merazad, at that time you also bring Kaka from the hospital. So Baba went and he was brought. Baba asked him to sit near him. And Baba says, Kaka, how are you? And Kaka, his speech was affected. So he says, my blood, he was upset. My blood taken 5 times, 6 times and sold out. Baba says, your blood was taken 5, 6 times and sold out? I had told Adi to take best of arrangement treatment for you, and this happened. Call Adi. So Adi was called. And Baba says, I told you, I had given instruction to you that you take Kaka to hospital and make proper arrangement for him, best of treatment. And this treatment you made, this arrangement you made, that of course his blood was taken 5, 6 times and sold out. All right, bring that man whom that blood was given, and his blood would be taken and given to Kaka. Kaka says, I don't want that blood. I don't want that blood. Kaka would not have forgotten. Every day would have said that my blood was taken and sold out. He forgot completely. Now then, of course, he would come and sit near Baba. He would not talk about the blood. But then one day, what happened? Beware, Baba was there and Kaka did not come. And then, of course, Baba left. And it was our lunch time. So he was very particular. So, where is Kaka? Where is Kaka? So he was, Kaka, Kaka. No response. So 2 boys who were working, they said Kaka was in bathroom. So Eraj went and Eraj said, Kaka, Kaka. No response. So he climbed up and he saw Kaka was just lying unconscious. Anyway, the door was open. He had massive heart attack. So anyway, we lifted him and brought to his room, and then Ghaver, of course, was looking after him and attendant was Aloba. So Aloba was looking after him, but Kaka was not a simple patient. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. So Ghaver would give pills. So pills just like now, green, red and yellow. And if she would change instead of yellow, if white would be there, so Kaka would see. And he would throw the tablets and he would kick Aloba. So one night, of course, Kaka did this, so Aloba went to Ghaver. He said it is impossible to attend to Kaka because he does not take, if he kicks it's alright. But he does not, he throws the medicine. Then afterwards you would blame me. So Ghaver came running to Baba. And Ghaver says, Baba, Kaka is a very serious patient. He should be sent to hospital. And Baba says, what do you think? Whether he will die? And Ghaver says, if he is serious patient, he may die. So Baba says, why do you want to send him to hospital? He will not, you would not like to die in the hospital. Let him die here. When he is going to die, let him die here. So Ghaver did not say anything and she left. And Baba says to me, Kaka is not going to die. Next day Baba comes. And when he came, what happened? That he says to Iraj, bring Kaka here. And Iraj says, Baba, Kaka's health very serious. How to bring him? Baba says, you all go lift him and bring him. So we brought him. And he was sitting near Baba. Baba asked me to bring one glass of water. I brought one glass of water, gave to Baba, and Baba gave to Kaka. Kaka drank the water and he became young. He became young as soon as Baba left Mandi Hall. He went to the kitchen, took the food, he ate and then started cleaning the plate, cleaning his own room, everything. Nothing happened to Kaka afterwards, till the time he died one day. But, and that too, after Baba dropped his body, after 27 days, Kaka died. So what his work was, he would sit near Baba. Baba would ask me to give him massage. I would give him massage and Kaka would gradually get up. He would come to me and he would give me a hard slap. And not only he would give me a hard slap, but then he would shake hand with Baba as if he did something very good. And Baba would also shake hand with him. And it was the entertainment for all the Mandi. Because there was no entertainment. Kaka was providing that. Every day it would happen. One day, of course, Kaka did not ask me, Baba did not ask me to give him massage. So I was sitting there and Kaka was restless. And Baba looks at him. He says, you come, he is restless. So I went to him and then started giving massage and Kaka started his work. And when Mani said, Baba had said, everything would be crystal clear to you. What he was doing at that time, how he made everything crystal clear to me. It was Kaka's slap. Who will accept this? But it is a fact. I am telling you. So it is not easy to understand anything. What Baba was doing and what Baba did, if we want explanation for anything, no explanation, because it is beyond understanding. He was working for the whole universe. He has bowed down to you all. You must have read that Baba would bow down to poor, the lepers, the blind, all the time. He was also doing the same thing to you. And that's why you have come. Even if you want to live, you cannot live. That is the absolute thing, because he is the truth, he is the reality. And reality, everyone thinks God is indivisible. God is one. And there is nothing besides God. Only God exists. And whatever appears existing, it is nothing but illusion. So when God is indivisible, God is one. Only God exists. So who are you? Who are you? Only God exists. Nothing exists besides God. So who you must be? The same one. Indivisible. The same one, but we don't know. We don't understand why we have come in creation in order to know. In order to know who we are. And everyone, Baba has said that he got the Vim in the beyond state of God. Who am I? That Vim, Tony, where must be that Vim? Who am I? Where must be in the beyond state of God? That Vim came. Where must be that Vim?
In beyond.
God is indivisible. And when God is indivisible, it must be that Vim must be in everyone. Because God is indivisible. So you are not part of God, but you are the whole God. And in order to experience that, we are passing through all these stages, all these kingdoms, stone, vegetable, worm, fish, bird, animal, and human being. Why? That Vim is working in everyone. Vim is working in everyone, and one day, whether you want it or you don't want it, you will know it. This is a fact that you will know it, who you are. So it is not that we are just following him because that Vim, who am I, it is in everyone. And everyone, when it is in everyone is why we are progressing from stone, how we have become human being, because of that Vim. It is with everyone. So we have to, you cannot just change it. Who am I? Yes, that Vim we don't see, we don't hear, but that Vim is working. And that's why we are making progress. So that one, why does he come down on earth? What is the reason? Reason is that when he comes down, he gives certain thing. When he came in the beginning, I wanted to tell you the story about mischievous chicken. And that is the story which gives everything. So I tell you that story. That before the beginning of the creation, there was nothing. And Baba said that there was only one hen. Hen was there and she had innumerable chickens. She would protect all the chickens under the wings. And she would not allow any chicken to go out. So of course there was no existence of time. Time we come to know when we are in human form, when mind is fully developed. Whether animal knows about the time or bird knows about the time? No. Only human beings. We are conscious. So time, of course, there is no question at the time. Time, who would think no one was there? So there was no time. So she would not allow any chicken. So one chicken, in order to understand the story, after ages and ages and ages, he felt fed up while living under the wing. So that chicken came out mischievous. And when he came out, mother hen, of course, felt very frightened. And when he came out, what does he see? That dazzling light. And he could not face that light, so he returned. He returned, so mother hen was happy, he was happy. But being mischievous, again after ages, again he came out. And the same thing happened. He saw that dazzling light, could not face it, but this time the color of the light was different. Was different but could not face it, he returned. In this way he came out 6 times, and each time he saw different color of light, and then he returned. Then mother hen decided, this chicken is very mischievous, and if he goes out again, she would not care for him. But being mischievous, after ages, again he came out. And he knew that mother hen did not like. So what to do? Again he saw that dazzling light, but color was different. And he felt hungry. He said, what should I eat now? And the imagination comes. And imagination says, I am here, eat as much as you like. So the mischievous chicken started eating imagination. And the things which he should not have eaten, he went on eating and eating. Eating and eating, and he made 13 adventures. Now 7 times, remember this, 7 times he came out and came back 6 times. 7th time when he came out, then he did not go back. What is that? These are the planes. These are the planes. First he came out, but he could not experience any plane because the impressions are not there. And in order to experience the planes, impressions are necessary. So he could not experience. But when he came out for the 7th time, the grass, he was in grass world. But the world was not there. Then now how he is creating? So he started eating imagination. 13 adventure he made, 13 adventures. Up to 7th adventure he went on eating and eating. The things which should not have eaten, he ate. So because we are eating and eating, we cannot make progress. We remain in grass world bound. Just go on eating and eating. And what do we eat? Imagination. Imagination. But when he entered into 8th adventure, the hunger was less and he would eat less. He went further and further, so hunger was less and less. And when he completed 13th adventure, no hunger. He had no hunger. So he cried out, what should I do now? And a voice, means God's voice came, you eat yourself. And he ate himself. And as soon as he ate himself, he found that he was everything. But everything he found, all knowledge, all power, all bliss. But then he looks around. That is creation consciousness. When he looks around, innumerable chickens were following him. And the responsibility of innumerable chickens, of course, fell on him. And that's why that mischievous chicken has to come age after age to look after those innumerable chickens who followed him. So when he came out, the divine plan came along with him, divine will came out. And then of course, when he got this creation consciousness, means looked at the innumerable chickens, the whole responsibility came on his shoulder. So now no one can take that responsibility. He is the only one who has to shoulder that responsibility, and that's why he comes age after age. Now when he comes down, the situation is different at that time. Why does he come back again? The situation differs. Situation differs, illusion again takes his head, raises his head, and again the same thing happens, ignorance. So he has to come. Situation at every age when he comes, situation of the world is different. So now, divine will. Everything happens according to divine will. Nasser once says, everything happens according to divine will. Is right? Everything happens according to divine will. So here is art. Very intelligent person. Very intelligent. He says everything happens according to divine will. So if I commit theft, it will also be according to divine will. Why to work day and night, get tired? Why not to commit theft? So that I may live, of course, without any work, enjoy life. So he commits theft. He commits theft and he tells his friend that today, of course, I brought such a thing that whole life we will live very happily, nothing to do. What did you do? I committed theft. Committed theft? Why do you do that? It is a sin. He says everything happens according to divine will. You don't know. So where is the sin? She says that it is also under divine will that I should inform the police and get you arrested. It is also under divine will. So divine will no one can understand. It is beyond understanding. So every time when he comes down on earth, he expresses his wish. That is divine wish. And when wish he expresses, he also makes the people aware of that wish. It is not that in words he gives. He has what work he does, he has to clean. Why do we not understand? Why do we not follow? It is not nobody's fault, because we create all these impressions, and then because of that ignorance, so we cannot understand. So now the situation, of course, according to his wish, he gives the wish, and then of course it just goes on smoothly for 400-500 years. Again the situation changes, and when situation changes, again he has to come. That's 700 to 1400 years he comes down. again he expresses his wish, and not only expresses, but he makes you aware of the world, aware of the situation, so that according to that, of course, you may get awareness and you go further. Whatever wish Lord Jesus had expressed, love thy neighbor, love thy neighbor. Whether we love our neighbor, on the contrary, fight. Your dog barks at night, you are very much disturbed. Fight. We don't follow. This is not the situation. Muhammad said, don't give loan to anyone. And when you give loan to anyone, don't charge interest. So now banks are there. And if you put your money in the bank and you say, no, I don't want interest, only my money you just keep. Situation is changed. Our Muhammad has said that marry 4 wives. Marry 4 wives. So now this is the situation. Can we marry 4 wives? No. Here Baba says, what is marriage? Marriage is that 2 rivers join together. And when 2 rivers join together, become one, proceed towards the ocean. Now, if the second one is there, second one, then of course you have to take divorce to have second one. So divorce, of course, it has become one. When 2 rivers become one, how can you separate? You have to go to the ocean. Means then you cannot go towards the ocean. If you do that, then of course your path is then distracted. So all these things are there. So he has to express his wish according to the situation. This time his wish is different. But that wish which he has expressed, I tell you, he has to give awareness. So what he is doing, he is just cleaning those impressions which we have collected, and because of that, when we have lost the awareness towards God, the wish becomes rituals afterwards. The same wish becomes the rituals and ceremonies. And that's why he has to come down and then again express the wish according to the situation and makes you aware. Otherwise, who will follow the wish? Nobody can follow. He has to give the awareness. And that work, of course, he is doing now. He has dropped his body, very, very active. And what is his manifestation? To clean the world. To clean everyone. Whether he is a lover or he is just anyone who just abuses him, criticizes him, opposes him. We are all his children and mischievous children. How can he ignore any child? It is not possible. He has to take care. One day, Nashraman, I was very much amazed. You know, you have got lot of material about Colonel M.S. Irani. Colonel M.S. Irani was the person who was opposing Baba to any extent. During his lifetime, he went on opposing and criticizing him. Whenever Baba would go to any place, he would also go there and he would just give lectures about him, against him. Also he would distribute pamphlets. He had written one thing, Meher Baba the hoax, and he distributed his whole lifetime. He devoted opposing Baba. And one day I was going through the list of the dead persons, because Baba has asked us that one memorial tower should be constructed at Mehrabad. At Mehrabad, it should be constructed, and the names of these people, his lovers who knew him, it should be inscribed there. I was going through the list, and name of Colonel M.S. Iran. I said, how is it? How is it his name? His name, he was opposing, abusing Baba all the time, criticizing. How his name is there? He was criticizing, he was opposing, but he was remembering. He was remembering him, and honestly, he was opposing but remembering. It is not that he would just say and just keep quiet. No, he was sincere in that. And sincerely, of course, he was remembering, though in opposite way, but remembering him. So his name is there. So then, of course, when we were in Dehradun, I remember one incident, and that incident threw light on me. Baba, of course, he was two bungalows, one for women mandi and one for men mandi. And sweeper, one couple was there, sweeper. In India, of course, sweeper class, very lowest class. So that wife was working in Baba's bungalow, and men was working in men mandi's bungalow. And they had one son. His name was Isa. Did you hear about him?
No, I haven't.
Isa, find out.
Isa.
Isa. So that Isa, very, very mischievous. He would not go to school, nothing, and he would just play whatever he would want to do, he would do. One day in Diwali, that means festival of light, there is one festival, it is called Festival of Light. So people from northern India, they are allowed to gamble. Yes. So Baba was coming from his bungalow to going to Mandi's bungalow. We were with him. So the wife comes before Baba. He says, Hujur means Lord. Isa went for bangling last night. He lost. Today again he is going. Please see that he wins. and Baba, of course, smiled, and he said, I will see. Second day again when Baba was going, she comes. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Isa won last night. Baba says, all right, send him to me. So Isa comes. When Isa came, Baba says, Isa, do you go to school? He says, no, Baba. Do you want to go to school? We'll provide you books, we would provide you clothes, good food, everything. No, I don't want to go. So what do you want? He says, if you allow me to sit with the Malli, then I will come and sit here. And Baba says, all right, do it. So every day he would come. And when he would come, Baba would just wash his feet, bow down to him, and then of course give him present. And I became his servant. So servant means I had to give him food and everything, serve him, wash his clothes, everything. And he became my master. So now what happened one day, Isa says to Baba, Baba, I have got 7 friends and I taught them how to love you. So if you allow, I will bring them. Baba says, all right, bring. So 7 friends came. And then of course, Baba would bow down, wash their feet, bow down to them and give them present, but special treatment to Isa. Special treatment. So then when he brought 7 friends, so Baba said, now after this program, you play here. So it was a big compound and there were mango trees. So Isa, along with his friends, he would go and play with them. And one day, one friend comes running to Baba and he says, Baba, Baba, Isa abuses you. Abuses me? Why? What does he say? He says, just see Baba, he throws a stone at the tree to get the mango. And he said, Jai Baba Ji ki, means victory to Baba. And when the mango does not fall, then he says, Hat tere sale Baba ki, means you devil Baba. And Baba says, he abuses me, but he remembers me. And that is anyone, this 100 years after he has dropped his body, I tell you, whether you love him or you oppose him, to whatever you are, but you are all his children. He is not going to ignore anyone. Those who do not take an interest and they think that yes, we cannot follow him. They are not doing anything wrong. They are his children. So do not think that they are very bad people. Never. He is in everyone, everything. So we should not just feel bad about it, or this one, or he does not follow Baba. Don't think about it. Don't worry about that. The whole world is going to come. He is working for that. But this 100 years, of course, he will take care. After 100 years, after his universal manifestation, if you call him, he is there. If you don't call him, he will not care. So he remains in the form of Holy Spirit, active, always active, because he has to look after the world. He does not remain inactive. But the difference will be that after 100 years, after his universal manifestation, if you call him, he is there to help. If you don't call him, he will also not care. So this 100 years really very, very important. We should not miss. We have come to him, you must follow. And what is there? Whether he has said that leave the world and go to the forest and meditate, you have not to do anything, do whatever you are doing. Just know well that you are doing for him. Everything. I just give one example. There was one family in Pune, and the husband was police inspector, and of course he has children, and they were all wife, children, they were very much devoted to Baba. They were going to school every day. Once it so happened that wife came to Baba when Baba was in Satara, about 150 miles from Ahmednagar. And she met Baba and went back. They had one room special for Baba. So if anyone would want to be with Baba, he would go there, or she would go in the room and nobody would make any noise. So she comes back and goes to the room and she was there. The children, they came back from the school and they saw that shoes were out. Oh, mother has come. We must not make any noise. So they went to play somewhere. Husband came in the evening and the children told him that mother has come and she is in Baba's room. He was very much impressed. How much my wife loves Baba. How fortunate I am to find such a wife. So he himself cooked the food and gave to the children, and of course they slept after eating. Then in the morning, when he got up, she was still in that room. Still he was very, very happy that my wife loves Baba so much, I am fortunate. So he made breakfast for the children. He took out the clothes, fresh clothes, and he gave breakfast and said that now you put on the dress and go to school. And he went to attend to his job. In the evening, when he comes, again the wife is in the Baba's room. Now he was feeling difficulty, so he writes a letter to Baba that this is not a complaint against my wife Hemlata, but I am just practical difficulties I am facing, so I am putting before you. And then he wrote the whole thing. As soon as the letter was received, Baba called the whole family and they came, husband, wife and children. Baba embraced each one and they were sitting before Baba. And Baba says, Hemlata, I am very pleased with your love. How much you love me. I am really very, very happy, very pleased with your love. But I am pleased in you. I am pleased in you. And then he looked at the children. He said, I am not pleased in them. I am not pleased in them because I don't get food in time. I don't get fresh clothes. I am not pleased in them. Then he looked at the husband and he said, oh, I am just very much suffering in him. Because of course I have to cook for the children, I have to wash their clothes, I have to attend to my job. I am very much unhappy in him. I am happy with you and happy, pleased in you. Who has given this? Who has given this husband and children to you? I have given. So I have given to you, knowing fully well that you will just shoulder your responsibility very well. You will also keep pleased me in them. But you are keeping pleased in you and displeased in them. I have given this responsibility, knowing fully well that you, because you love me, you will also keep me pleased in them. But you are not doing this. She could understand. Baba, sorry. Just forgive me. So this is the world. In the world, how to live. How to live. It is not that wife and children, of course you have, so you must live. I follow God. So I follow God, so I have no care. Because you don't know your responsibility which He has given. God cannot give such a responsibility that you live. You must handle lovingly. Do not remain attached. Love Him. And knowing fully well that this responsibility is given by Him, so you must fulfill that responsibility willingly for Him. And that is the way how we should live in the world. Do you know? Still you don't remember the songs I told her to remember and sing, and she did not. A small question and reply so long. Now I just ask you, any other question now? Any
Get
question?
some things, Bhau. Get some things. Like, on 3/4 of the world, you say like, 1/4 follow me. But wouldn't Baba say 1/4 obey me?
Follow means to obey. When follow me, he says, means to obey. How will you follow?
Yeah, I mean, but
You obey his orders, that means you are following him. But this 3/4 and 1/4. So in Meher Baba manifesting, I have written that 3/4 of our unnatural impressions will be wiped out. And that is a fact, it will happen. Everyone will lose 3/4 of unnatural impressions because he is cleaning. So he was doing this. But then these 3/4 of impressions, they are wiped out. Even a few impressions, if they are wiped out immediately, you will not be able to sustain your body. So 3/4. So when 3/4 are wiped out, whether it is possible to sustain the body. So physical destruction will also be there. Physical destruction, and it happened when in New York, my interview about this. So immediately it came that yes, this 3/4 internal internal destruction will be there of these impressions, but difficult to maintain the body, sustain the body when it happens immediately. Now what is happening when you have come in his contact? Gradually he is wiping out the impressions. All these impressions which are unnatural, which we have collected, gradually that work he is doing. No one knows. He is doing that. And that's why we got little bit more and more awareness towards him. But when at the time of his universal manifestation, those who are not affected by now and 3/4, so they will be benefited, but difficult to sustain the body. Do you understand? Difficult to sustain the body. You will sustain, no doubt about it. Eat well.
Don't worry. In any case.
How many varieties of cheese in France?
How many varieties?
Varieties of cheese?
360 cheese. 365.
347.
65.
47.
I know better than her. 347 varieties and wine. Just have it. Don't worry.
One for every day.
Hmm?
One for every day.
Ah, yes. 347 varieties of cheese. And if you don't want to cut the cheese, go to dance Divan. He will teach how to cut the cheese. Yes.
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 Wow, this man that was captured yesterday, this Eric Rudolph, for killing people and making bombs, and they captured him yesterday in Murphy, North Carolina.
Mhm.
And Baba spent the night in Murphy when he was on his way across the country in, I think, in the 50s. And I was wondering if there was some kind of connection between those events.
Connection, those who do it, they don't understand. I just give one example which happened. Two examples, they are there. One, of course, it so happened that Baba met with an accident in India on 2nd December 1956. And then the place he was living at that time was called Satara. So after this accident, then Baba was taken to Pune, and at that time, one person came to see Baba, and he said that when I heard that Baba met with an accident, since that time I have stopped eating and I have stopped drinking water. So unless and until I see Baba with my own eyes, I will neither eat not drink. Message was given to Baba. Baba was suffering, and Baba says, tell him that I am all right, he should not worry, he should eat and drink. And he was told, and he said, no, until I see Baba, I will not eat and I will not drink. He insisted. Then he was called, Baba called him. He goes to Baba, and Baba himself asks him, what do you want? He says, I want your blessing. I want your blessing. Baba says, don't ask my blessing. You will not be able to digest. I know what do you want. I know, and I will give you. But just tell, what do you want? He says, I want your blessing. Baba says, just think what that I am telling you. Blessing you will not be able to digest. So whatever you want, I know, but I want to hear from your mouth. What do you want? He says, I want your blessing. Baba says, I give you 1 month. 1 month. You think over that. And come to Mehrasad. I will be at Mehrasad at that time. Come there. And just don't ask blessing, but tell me actually what do you want. You go now. So he goes. Now, Baba went to Pune, and his day to come to Mehrasad, it was the day of Baba's birthday. And Baba would not be able to walk, Baba would not be able to sit. But he put one condition before us that he wanted to do, to contact 701 poor. So it was his order. So we brought 701 poor from villages. And Baba, of course, he would not be able to, he was brought there. He would not be able to sit, but he sat on the floor. And of course, he washed the feet of everyone and bowed down to them. And then after that, he gave the present to everyone, and then he was taken to Mandi Hall. And Mandi Hall, why? Because that man was to come. And he came. When he came, and Baba says, now tell me, what do you want? He says, I want your blessing. Baba says, again you are repeating the same thing. I am telling you, you will never be able to digest my blessing. I am giving you warning. He says, I want your blessing. Given. Go. So he goes. Every year, 15th of March, Baba would go to Pune. And when we went to Pune, what do we find? That man was at the gate. And our cars passed away. We did not look at him. In the evening, he was there from morning to evening. Iraj was taking walk in the at Guru Prasad. And he looked at him and he said, Iraj. He said, what? What do you want? He said, you come here. So poor Iraj went to him. He says, please tell Baba, I am in a very bad plight. My wife and children, they are on the street. I lost my house, I lost everything. Iraj says that Baba had told you not to ask his blessing, and still you are complaining. Why did you ask his blessing? Oh, that was my mistake. But tell him that now I cannot bear it. He went to Baba. Iraj went to Baba, and Baba said, what to do now? I told him not to ask, and still he persisted. All right, ask him to come the next day at 9 o'clock. He came the next day. And next day when he came, Then Baba says, what did I tell you? Not to ask for my blessing. He said, that was my mistake, Baba. Mistake? Then I have to take my blessing back. He said, do whatever you like. But I don't want this suffering. My wife and children, they are on the street. Baba says, now go and wash your feet and come. He washed his feet. Baba bowed down to him 101 times and gave him 1,000 rupees. And Baba says, go. He goes to Bombay. He got immediately partnership in shipping company. He got a house. He got a car. And what happens on weekend? He came well dressed, the children well dressed. And Baba says, how are you? He says, by your blessing, I am very, very happy. Baba says, this is not my blessing. You are happy, I am happy, I have nothing to say. But don't say that this is my blessing. This is not my blessing. Again he came the next week and Baba says, how are you? By your blessing. Baba says, this is not my blessing. And that's why when Baba would send write letter to him, to anyone, he would say, my love blessing, means blessing of love. He would not give my blessing, blessing of love. Very difficult to digest his blessing. His blessing means complete ruination. Ruination of what? Or false self. That is his blessing.
Only Padre was not afraid. Only Padre was not afraid.
No, Padre, of course, that is quite different. Padre is just whole life he devoted. 5 minutes. So that question, what was that question? I was dealing with that question. And this came.
Had to do with
Wow, what is that? Your question.
So, well, my question was the connection between the man who was captured yesterday, who killed people
So
in
what?
Murphy,
So at that time,
where Baba stayed.
when Baba had met with an accident, this happened, and afterwards, Baba would not be able to come to Mandi Hall. He would be in the room, in his own room. So from Hamirpur district, one letter came, and saying there were 2 families. They were all Baba lovers, but in the letter they mentioned that these 2 families, they were the example for us, but now they are fighting. They are fighting and we feel very bad, and that's why we are putting it before you. When the letter was read out to Baba, so Baba says to Eraj, just call 4 members from this family and 4 members from that family. So he informed through telegram, and they came. When they came, so Baba embraced them and they were sitting there, and Baba says, what's the matter? So one party says, Baba, we have got one piece of land, and of course that is our land, but this party says that it is their land, and if you ask us to give that land to them, of course we'll give. Baba says, why should I ask that you give this land to them? I want to know to whom it belongs. So this party says it belongs to us. That party says, no Baba, it belongs to us. It belongs to us, it belongs to us. Then Baba says, it may be possible that 50% belongs to this party, 50% to that party. No, Baba, the whole piece belongs to us, whole piece belongs to us. And they just, no Baba, just as I want to know to whom it belongs. It belongs to us, it belongs to us. They went on, and in that heat, one person says that Baba, this man of another party, he has committed a murder. Baba says, committed a murder? Did you commit a murder? Yes, Baba. Baba says, why did I call you here today? Because he loves me. And innocently he did it. I want to forgive him. And that's why I called you. Just otherwise I would have said that all right, just divide 50% and you would have done. But why I called? Because I want to forgive him. And what is his forgiveness? His forgiveness when he murdered, all his impression he collected. All the other person, of course, he was free. But this one was bound. So Baba wanted to release him from these bindings. And that's why he called. So now the one who is doing this, he is just collecting all the impressions.
Yeah.
All the impressions of that person, but no one is there to forgive him. He would suffer and suffer and suffer. Not in this birth, in next birth. This birth, of course, no one knows. Because whatever you new impressions you collect, when you spend old impressions, previous impressions, so you collect new impressions. New impressions are for next life, next birth. So he would suffer and suffer. Now, 11th September, whatever happened on 11th September, that World Trade Center and Pentagon. Now those people, they knew that they would be killed. They would not remain alive. They wanted, they know. And knowing fully well that it would happen, but still they did. That means they committed suicide. They committed suicide. And when they committed suicide, what will happen to them, do you know? All those people who were killed, all those who were wounded, all those relatives and friends who had sympathy for them, who were just weeping for them, all these impressions they would collect. And nobody, suicide means nobody. They would suffer and suffer ages and ages. Not only they would suffer, but the leaders, the leaders of that those people, they will also collect the impressions. They would suffer and suffer. These people, they don't know. Only God can forgive. Only God can forgive in name of Allah, in name of God. That's why I said that will, whatever will, divine will is there, his wish should be followed. We don't understand divine will, so his wish should be followed. And his wish also changes according to the situation. Whatever wish Muhammad had expressed, the same situation is not here at this age. That's why Meher Baba had to come. And he has expressed his wish, and not only expressed his wish, but he is giving awareness. Awareness how fortunate you are that you have come to him. It is not that is his work. He is working. This time when I went to different places, Myrtle Beach and other places, what I find that inclination towards Baba more and more. How it is happening, only he knows, because he is working. But when I see that, I feel very much touched what the beloved is doing for them, for the whole world. For the whole world, how much he must be suffering. We don't have any idea. So his pleasure, we just say his pleasure. His pleasure, you are pleasing him. When you have recognized him and you try to follow him, you are pleasing him. Those who are just opposing him, doing anything, don't care for him, he is not going to ignore them. But what will be the difference? They are not pleasing him. You are pleasing. And it is a great thing. to please him.
What if a person is unaware of Baba, knows nothing about Baba, but has goodness and love in his heart? Will he be saved?
Just like I tell you, goodness in his heart, if one loves God, in any form loves, it does not make any difference. But to love means follow the rituals. And we just say we love God. No, that is not the thing. Just love should be love. So if one loves, there is no difference. There is no difference. But if one follows the rituals, ceremonies, traditions, and he says, I love God, that is not following him. That is not love. There are people, of course, they do meditation and this concentration and yogic practices and observing fast. But it does not, if it is done through love, then it has meaning. If it is done because, and then of course, what happens if you do it? Oh, I am something great. I am something great. That means the self asserts itself. That is no good.
Jai Baba. Thank you very much.
You get tired. Again, Avatar Mehboob ki jai.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
No, you have to sing.
You have to sing it.
Only if everybody joins me.
You start.
All right.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Thank you, Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Jai Baba, thank you very much once again.
Thanks for remembering.
Thanks for the memories. And the scare of the future. So the one question I already asked is how many years it takes for you to sleep for us.
It'll be quick.
Well, but it's quick, it's very hard to sustain the body. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be nice. I might get in there sooner or later.
The East Coast is gone. 50 miles into the East Coast. Half of Florida is gone. Louisiana is gone. Coast of California.
How old is he?
Los Angeles is an island.
Just about Christmas age. I have a 5-year-old.
Well, actually, possibly, but it's very young. That's maybe after one of these things. But whether it's natural, or unnatural, it's not important. To me, if it happens in LA,